Lion Rock is an ancient rock fortress located in the central province in Sri Lanka. It is a site of historical and archaeological significance that is dominated by a massive column of granite approximately 180 meters. According to the ancient Sri Lanka Chronicle, this area was a large forest, then after storms and landslides it became a hill and was selected by King Kashyapa for his new capital. He built his palace on top of this rock and decorated its sides with colorful frescoes. On a small plateau about halfway up the side of this rock he built a gateway in the form of an enormous lion. The name of this place is derived from this structure, Sigiriya. The capital and the royal palace were abandoned after the king's death. It was used as a Buddhist monastery until the 14th century. Sigiriya today is a UNESCO-listed World Heritage Site. It is one of the best preserved examples of ancient urban planning. To enter Sigiriya, visitors to the location have to cross over a 15-foot deep moat that is thought to have once been filled with crocodiles and required to have a drawbridge in order to cross it. The foundation on the outside of the moat is claimed to have had walls that are 7 foot tall. Defensive walls are usually established behind the moat. This is so that enemies can be assailed as they swam across crocodile-infested waters. Logic dictates that by having clear passages behind these walls, mobile troops would be able to respond anywhere in the defense. The missing fortifications inspire questions from history buffs and enthusiasts of the ancient wonder that is Sigiriya. These questions concern the lack of gatehouses to protect the drawbridge and why the moat does not completely surround the property. The secret here is that the front portions that have been excavated were perhaps simply an entry water feature. The main walkway that leads to Sigiriya Rock has pools that extend onto either side of it. The pools on the right-hand side have been excavated while those on the left remain buried under soil from the jungle. Each pool extends in perfect symmetry. This is a brilliant example of urban planning of the era Sigiriya was designed in. There remain fountains that flow during the rainy season, fed by pipes underground from uphill systems. Among the many whispers of the water gardens are that they are in fact pleasure pools, built by King Kashyapa, who had 500 wives, to observe them bathing in all day. However, putting the second pool in perfect symmetry would have only served to dilute the view. If the claims about the pools having been built for his pleasure were true, it stands to reason that he would have had them built on an elevated gazebo. The main path then leads to the Sigiriya Boulder Gardens. The design uses natural boulder placements around the base rock to create a set of brick and woodworks. None of the original buildings survive today. Yet, the rock-cut footings on the boulders that supported the walls and pillars are visible. The Boulder Garden is asymmetrical. It uses the natural contour and boulder placements to create a high aesthetic effect that is almost modern. 3 natural caves are also identified as the garden's features. They are the Dharaniagala Cave, Cobra Hooded Cave, and Asana Cave. Some rare 5th century murals can be seen on the cave ceilings as well. An inscription here states that this area was used by meditating Buddhist monks since the 3rd century BCE. This makes it the oldest archaeological site in the Sigiriya rock fortress. The Sigiriya frescoes are among the most famous and captivating elements of Sigiriya, also known as Lion Rock, in Sri Lanka. These ancient frescoes, painted during the reign of King Kashyapa I in the 5th century CE, are located on the western face of the massive rock fortress. They are one of the most significant surviving examples of ancient Sri Lanka art and are celebrated for their vibrant colors, intricate detail, and unique subject matter. Hessa inscriptions are over 1,000 years old and are believed to once have adorned the entire mountain. When King Kashyapa began building Sigiriya, an order of monks were moved by him to Pidurangala rock that sits in close proximity to the rock. After the fall of Sigiriya, the rock returned to the ownership of the monks. Around 700 inscriptions from the 8th, 9th, and 10th centuries have since been translated from the wall. These tell the story of 500 frescoes that cover most of the west wall that is nearly 500 feet wide and 100 feet tall. Of the many secrets surrounding the frescoes is that the monks believed the women to be a distraction to the clergy. Other whispers suggest that the frescoes are actually a symbol of Sri Lanka unified under Yaka rule. Design and structure of the Lion's Gate, Lion's Paws. The entrance to the summit is marked by two gigantic stone-carved lion paws that remain intact today. These paws are carved from the natural rock at the base of the steep staircase leading to the top of the rock. The lion's paws are large, detailed, and stand out prominently against the rock face. The lion's head, historical records and reconstructions suggest that, originally, the lion's body and head were also part of the structure, but these have not survived over time. Visitors would have ascended the staircase through the lion's open mouth, walking between its paws and climbing to the summit. The absence of the lion's upper body and head today has left only the monumental paws, but these alone give a sense of the grandeur and imposing nature of the gate. Symbolism. The lion was a symbol of royal authority and strength in ancient Sri Lanka culture, and the lion's gate was meant to convey both power and divine protection. It served as a guardian to the palace and fortress above, an intimidating feature that added to the defensive nature of Sigiriya as a whole. The terraced gardens are formed from the natural hill at the base of the Sigiriya rock. A series of terraces rises from the pathways of the Boulder garden to the staircases on the rock. These have been created by the construction of brick walls, and are located in a roughly concentric plan around the rock. The path through the terraced gardens is formed by a limestone staircase. From this staircase, there is a covered path on the side of the rock, leading to the uppermost terrace where the lion's staircase is situated. The Summit Palace. The most impressive feature is undoubtedly the palace complex at the summit. Walking through the Lion Gate and climbing the final stairs, visitors emerge onto a plateau that seems to float in the sky. Here, King Kashyapa built his palace, complete with gardens, pools, and residential quarters. The engineering required to transport building materials to this height and create a sustainable water supply system was unprecedented for its time. The pools you see at the top weren't just for decoration, they were part of an intricate rainwater harvesting system that sustained life at the summit. The entire rock surface was engineered to funnel water into these reservoirs, ensuring a year-round water supply for the palace residents. This is an unbelievable man-made palace. That is why it renamed as the Ancient Sky Palace in Sri Lanka. This is only one signature of the proud of ancient Sri Lankans. There are so many secrets inside this island. If you know more about the Ancient Sky Palace in Sri Lanka, you can add it on comment section.